And what's it called again?
Cedar Mountain Fence. Kind of do like the khakis. What do you think of the khakis?
I mean, I would prefer that. Vinyl Fence Gallery. Let's see what he's got here.
But I do like the two-tone.
So if you go to their website, they have a fence gallery. This second guy really sold up the metal braces on the gates, and that you get a metal post that the gate attaches to. Aloha, everybody. We're just looking at gates. Fences, sorry. Some testimonials.
Listen, they're not going to have shitty testimonials on their website.
Obviously. Ooh, that's got to cost more money, but look at that.
The one with the lattice on the top?
Yeah. The two-tone? Under site preparation?
No, this is just, I do like that one a lot. Because that almost looks like the khaki with the white.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much that would be.
I might have to ask him, because that's nice.
Yeah.
Even though it lends a little bit of see-through for the top foot of the fence.
Yeah, I don't think I care enough about that. I mean, because you got your trees, and we're, I mean, truthfully, I don't know that it's worthwhile.
But hey, it's the last fence we're going to buy.
Yes. Watch, we'll get a fucking tornado. It'll take out our fence and eat us.
Well, maybe a tornado will pick up our house and slam it down in a better neighborhood.
I keep hoping.
All right, who's in the room here? Do you have do I have band t-shirts? I do. I don't know if they're still on my shop. They might still be on my shop.
Yeah, there's some. Actually, if you go to your YouTube store, Renee's currently. That's what all this clicking is.
There you go. My YouTube store is up and running. My own person. My own personal Erin Brockovich is over there working her ass off.
I thought you got rid of the fucking buttons.
I did. There shouldn't be any buttons left.
Yeah, the buttons are on here.
Okay.
It is what it is right now. Don't go in and touching anything.
Did you what Senator Chris Murray speak yesterday? I did not. Am I Fidel Castro? No, I am not. You can add your store items to your video descriptions. Yes, I know. We're working on that now. Our store just got up today. I've had a store up for years, but it just got up on YouTube today. And she's in there, working. We're working on it. We're working on it. It's getting there. while I'm doing the videos, she's in the background working her ass off, trying to get it all. I am fine, Lynn.
My area of expertise.
I'm fine, Lynn. Thank you for asking. We're planting a garden for this summer, so we got stuff going on here. Am I Santa? No, I am Santifa. TGIF. Okay. Weekends aren't really a thing anymore. They are for the boy, but for us right now, they're not a thing. Thank you, Ed. Moskowitz 10. What is that? What's on the menu to smoke today? I just rolled up the last of my herbs, so I got to go see my guy. And in the garden, we have cucumbers, jalapenos, bell peppers, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage.
Cabbage?
Yes. What?
Who put cabbage on there?
I made a space for cabbage. A little bit of cabbage, and
You don't even fucking eat cabbage.
But you do, and your mom.
Twice a year.
And your mom does, and Maggie does. So I'm going to put 2 cabbage plants in. What?
No.
And then a little spot for some peas. And then I've got Roma tomatoes, slicing tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, and a bunch of romaine lettuce. That's before we expand the garden out into the dog run area, which we will be able to do next year after we get this garden established this year. We got to put up some trellises, and we got to get rid of our fence and put in a new fence. And then, there's peppers in here. We've got, as a matter of fact, there will be 2 cucumber plants, 3 jalapeno plants, 9 bell pepper plants, 9 broccoli plants.
There's no cauliflower?
3 cauliflower plants, 2 cabbage plants, 2 pea plants, 2 Roma plants, 2 slicing tomato plants, 2 cherry tomato plants, and 12 romaine lettuce plants. Asparagus? Maybe as we expand the garden. This is just...
Asparagus you gotta plant and then let it go for like 3 to 4 years.
We have to get our main garden that we've had for years established first. There's going to be a zucchini plant right outside my window in a planting bed. Once we have a chance to expand the garden out, I'll make an area for zucchini. And then, my wife does like asparagus, but she doesn't eat it that often.
I eat asparagus more than I eat cabbage.
Okay, then we'll make an asparagus patch.
Did you not?
What?
I don't think that the person that doesn't eat vegetables should have any say in what goes in our garden.
But I do.
But I don't think we should listen to you.
Okay. Where's the marijuana gonna go? Not in the garden.
Our kids would be over all the time if there was marijuana in there.
Mm-hmm. Turd Nugent is a subscriber that says, "Caught you finally." George Hampton, good morning to you as well. So how many feet do those bids say that we have? That first one, how many feet does it say? Up in the square in the upper left-hand corner, he's got a number circled. It says total 318
versus 320.
Okay, so call it 320. How much would you guys suspect it would cost to remove 320 feet of 20-year-old 6-foot wooden fencing and then replace that with 320 feet of 6-foot vinyl fencing with a handful of gates? we're in the getting bid process. Okay, Vince and VYMY, you guys are way fucking low. Keep in mind, we paid 10 grand for our our 6-foot fence 18 years ago. We paid 10 grand. So 5 grand and 7 grand, not even in the ballpark.
Oh, it's also a vinyl fence.
It's also a vinyl fence. We're removing wood, replacing with vinyl, 320 feet. See, I thought it was going to come in at like 30 grand. The first bid came in at 13.8. The second bid came in, if we want white, 12.9. If we want to go with the tan, like 14 something. The first bid, it's 13.8. It's 650. Call it 1,000 more. Call it 14.8 if we want to go with one of the browns. So the second guy wants 20% deposit. The first guy wants 30%. Why vinyl, not wood? Well, because we put this wood fence in 18 years ago and it's now rotting and falling down. And we're going to have a new one installed this year, 2025. I will be 53. Renee will be 50 this year. If let's say we get another 20 years out of the next wooden fence, I don't want to spend $20, $25, $30,000 in my late 60s, early 70s to have to replace it again. So we're just going vinyl. Remove the old fence yourself to save money. Here's the problem. The overall price of the job, on the overall price of the job, the actual removal is going to be such a small portion of it that it's not going to be worth my time to rent a truck and the equipment needed to get in here and get all of these fucking posts that are in concrete up out of the ground, stacked up onto a truck or a trailer and hauled somewhere. I have a Jeep Cherokee. I'm not hauling 320 feet of 6-foot tall fence panels anywhere. It's not going. I'm not doing any of that. The best I could do is stack it in the middle of my yard and burn it, and that's a big no-no.
Yeah, that's treated wood.
Is vinyl that durable? I've seen so many falling apart. Both of these bids come with lifetime warranties on the fence. I drive a Cherokee. She drives a Grand Cherokee. Our 22-year-old drives a Cherokee, and our 20-year-old drives a Jeep Renegade. Good point. UV rays over the years making vinyl brittle. Very good point. I'd rather take my chances with that than the wood rotting. Oh, no problem, Lori. No problem at all. Why not a chain link? I don't want chain link.
We had a chain link.
We had a chain link in Franklin Park, yeah. Don't want it.
We had a dog that helped himself over it.
So we are definitely going 6 foot again. It's just a question of which one of these two companies we're going to use and which color we're going to go with. But probably.
Let's ask the people.
My wife wants to know what color you want around our backyard. White, tan, or brown on vinyl fencing. We have 1 vote for tan, 2 votes for tan, 1 vote for white. Robert Blake says pink. We got a brown. Just for the record, brown isn't happening. Sorry, take it out. White or tan?
Well, it's khaki.
The khaki or white.
But you don't like the khaki?
The brown, the one that looks like wood, is not happening.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That one's 22 grand.
Yeah, that's not happening. Unless people would like to help pay for it.
Here's the dilemma that we have. I don't like the white. She loves the white.
I'm afraid that the almond, which is what Tom's referring to as tan, is gonna like look yellow.
And I don't think the almond's going to look yellow. I think the white is going to be too much white. Somebody asked, do we have white on the outside of our house? No, it's like a, what is it, like a light blue? Huh?
Gray.
Gray, whatever the fuck color it is. Yeah, I can see we have a spammer. Hang on, let me get rid of them. There we go. They're gone. Do it in rainbow and piss off the neighbors?
It would. Both of them, anyways.
Here's the one that we just found that I think I'm going to have the first guy, here, I'm going to flip this for you guys. I think I'm going to have the first guy rebid for this because I think we both like this. This is a two-tone with lattice on top. And I think that's sharp. I think I like that. Okay, most of the people in the comment section are digging the two-tone with the lattice.
Yeah, I just afraid it's gonna be out of our, because we don't have time to save up all the lunch.
So I'll have to get a number from him on the that one. Otherwise, there's the two-tone that looks like that without the lattice, where it's just like the white frame and the quote-unquote tan interior. Which I think is pretty... I think it's a good compromise between the two of us.
Life has been a compromise.
Life is but a dream. Shiboop, shiboop, ba-doo, 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 ba-doo. Any hoodles. With lattice is better? Yeah, of course it is. But once again, I don't know how much more that's going to cost. But I would really like, if we can swing that, I'd really like to maybe try and do that. Is the lattice made of the same material as the rest of the fencing? I would imagine it is. Be hard to match later. White doesn't fade. Reverse the colors. My neighbor has vinyl and the white stained by... Reverse the colors. My neighbor has vinyl and the white stained by water splashing off the dirt. May I ask a question? Reading your video about your father. Yeah, absolutely. What could y'all do with the money y'all got? Huh? You look homeless, not gonna lie. Okay. I would only do it if we're made of the same material, lattice breaks down so easily. Yeah, fair enough. I would want it to be made of the vinyl as well. What's wrong with looking homeless? I don't know. Somebody came in here and said you look homeless. To each their own. That's what I'm talking about, Fuzz. And this is not fuzzy, but that's what I'm talking about. All white, that's going to be hard on the eyes. It's just going to be like fucking white. We have 320 feet of fence. It is going to be fucking white.
Right,
and in
we have our gray shed out there. We have trees out there. I mean, this entire side of the fence, you're not going to see it when you're out there in the summer.
Keep putting out that good content. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I have a lengthy gray beard, and I joke that I look like a homeless schnauzer. I own it. Yeah, if somebody wants to tell me that I'm homeless, then they can say that I'm homeless. I really don't give a flying fuck. You know what I mean?
It's been true at one point in your life. So.
I don't come to your job and tell you look homeless, do I? Your content is awesome and well spoke. Thank you very much. Thank you for what you do. Thank you. Yeah, we are going to drive around and take a look at some other fences. I'm going to hopefully see some that he's done. Tom the Grifter. How am I grifting you, mental pot? Hello, Tom, my fellow man from Illinois. Here, Fox, like exactly, you're a good man. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. How much would Portal to Hell cost for fencing? I don't know. Very liberating being in my 50s. I don't care what they think about how I look. Exactly. How were you able to be unaffected by growing up with a racist and misogynist father? I didn't say I wasn't unaffected. I was unaffected. What is this? You still want to play my guitar? You still cannot. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Franz. Oh, you were talking about yourself. Never mind. Thank you, Natalie Zettler, Greg, and Nat. Selling garbage whilst reigning to be an honest guy. Selling something isn't a grift if they're getting a product that they want. And I don't know what reigning to be an honest guy means, but claiming. What is claiming? Oh, claiming. Well, here's the deal. I bring receipts on my videos, so if you want to disclaim or disprove anything that I've said in a video, you are more than welcome to make content disproving me. There you go. Problem solved.
He could make his entire content about disproving
you. You can make a whole YouTube channel out of disproving me if I'm that wrong, right? I make enough content that show me them. They're all in existence. I'm not going to... what do I need to hold your hand and take you and show you all my videos? They're all over YouTube. They're all over TikTok. They're on Clapper. They're on Instagram. Go look at them. Best of luck on the fence. Love the content. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Robert. Hobro? Hobro? Old, bearded, retired truck driver from Vancouver sends his best. Thank you. Appreciate that. My father's racism did have an effect on me. As a fellow Grateful Dead fan, how do you think Trey did it fairly well in 2015? I'd rather not talk about the fairly well shows, as I tried to get into those, but by the time I could get to the tickets that were available, they were asking $1,200 for behind the stage, and I was rather pissed off that, you know, a lot of old school everyday deadheads didn't get a chance to see that show. Where am I from? I am from the Chicagoland area, the suburbs of Chicago. Thank you very much, Mr. Blackwell. The fan color, the tan color on the body, house, white trim, colder areas, white. Beep, beep, beep. I don't know. This is a conversation her and I will have here in the coming days, weeks.
It's not going to be a conversation.
Yeah, we're just not getting the white, that's for sure. It's that bad. It's that bad. You kind of don't like the tan, and I hate the white.
No, there's no kinda about it. My fear is valid.
No, you have okay, here's the problem. You have a fear of what might happen.
Are you really gaslighting me on how I feel?
No, I'm telling you, told me how you feel. You told me that you think the tan is going to look a certain way, and that's your fear. I know I don't like the white because I've been at houses with the white, and it sucks.
It's gonna fucking look yellow.
It sucks. It sucks.
And this is how we ended up with a wood fence.
Which would be cheaper than the vinyl, but we're not doing that.
I don't know that it would with the terrace fence.
Double down and go for yellow? Is green an option? No, it is not. The options are, here, So we have some options. We have so obviously you've got the regular old white. This is the one that I think that we both like. It's got the panel body's one color, the posts are white, and then it has this lattice on the top. Really, really like that.
I would like that in the khaki color.
This is, I think it's the khaki here. This is the brown, way too expensive, out of our range. This fence in white or tan khaki-ish is like 12, 13,000. In this color, it's in the low to mid 20s. Nothing with the slats like this. Yeah, and then you see there's like a lighter tan. There's a khaki and an almond is what they call them. This one here, I think, is the almond, and I don't think that that's a good choice. That's the one that I think is going to look yellowish. The white just makes it, to me, just makes it look like just another fucking cornfield subdivision with shitty white fucking plastic fences. So I'm gonna go back to the guy and have him quote this motherfucker right here.
Lily is offended by the snow that is currently happening.
Well, Lily needs to get over it. She picked Chicago to go to school, and she wants to live in Chicago. So I don't want to hear shit about fuck when it comes to snow. Everybody likes the lattice, yeah. Until it's time to pay for the lattice. I don't know if they have sample pieces that they can bring by and put up in the yard. I doubt that they have panels that can come by that would make enough of a difference. Too flammable for your taste? Well, the wood that's currently out there is awfully fucking flammable, I can tell you that. Do you need a fence? We want a fence.
We got a dog. We have a dog. Yeah, we do.
How about just stained wood? As I mentioned earlier, the reason why we're not going to go with wood again is because we went with wood 18 years ago. And it's now, to the point where it's rotting and falling apart. And so we're going to replace it now. And we don't want 20 years from now to have to do that again because we'll be in our late 60s, early 70s.
To stain our deck.
Stain our deck, it's $2,000.
$2,000. Could you imagine how fucking expensive it would be to stain our
Not to mention the fact, wouldn't they need to have access to all of our neighbors' yards to be able to go in there and stain the other side? Because to stain it, you're protecting it, so you want to do both sides of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure our neighbors would all...
They would let them in, but I mean, what a monumental pain in the dick.
Well, and I'm sure people actually just do it themselves. I can't even imagine. I would cry.
It's for privacy. It's because we have a dog and we'll always have a dog. Our house is like a light gray vinyl siding.
Yeah, borderline, almost like a dirty white. It's a super light gray. Which is why I have an issue with the Tina.
Would stone break our budget? Yeah. Yeah, a stone wall is not an option. Not even close to being an option.
And guys, it's almost a half an acre. I mean,
it's 320 feet of fence.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
a lot.
This person said they used to live in McHenry, couldn't do the snow and cold, had to move to Florida 9 years ago, and if you ignore the state government and the people, it's nice. Ignore everything about Florida, and it's awesome. I guess not everything about Florida, because the beaches are nice. It's not an insignificant amount of fencing. It's not. And see, I don't like the see-through fences. I'd rather have a solid fence.
Yeah, and our neighbor likes to stand on his deck. Not wearing much.
White is too American, right? Buy Tom's crap, period. MAGA, exclamation point. You don't have to buy anything, Sweet Pea. Just keep boosting the algorithms. You're doing exactly what I need you to do. Write to Trump. There are foreigners on the other side. Maybe he'll build you a wall in like 12 years. I live in rural North Carolina, Trump Town. I'm sorry to hear that. I grew up in Southern California. I got boot camp in Great Lakes in November. First time you saw actual snow. Amen. Great Lakes, great place, right here in the backyard. My name is Jenna Tolles. Okay. So did Trump give up on building a wall now? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Smash the like button, says DJ. Thank you, DJ. Fence prefer my Mountain View. Oh, you're in Switzerland. Gotcha. You missed the podcast. Totally understand. Here's the deal. I got to focus on what makes money. The podcasts were not making money. And putting that kind of time and effort into something that doesn't, Blythe, thank you very much for the tip. I appreciate that. That doesn't make money is just not in the cards right now. So my two podcasts have been sort of combined into a regular Tuesday night live here on YouTube. I live in rural North Carolina in Wilson County. It's becoming more Democratic here. Well, it's good to know. What kind of weed are you smoking? I don't know. Whatever the fuck my guy's got next for sale.
Is it an Animal House or Fruit Punch or something?
It's something like that. What I just rolled the last up was Banana Punch. Trump signs in Lenore County. Thanks for driving engagement in the chat. You moron metalport. Shit. They are dumber than a bag of hammers, aren't they? Any hoodles. That's the first big project we got is the fence. We got to get the deck restained and get hopefully a year or two out of the deck. And then we need to have the deck replaced. You snapped on your stepmom this morning. She voted for Trump. Sorry to hear that. We have individual vinyl slats, great for heavy winds, super easy to reassemble after a storm. Interesting. You're smoking Granddaddy Z and Blue Dream. Okay. Creationists for social Darwinism. They really are. I am decent with English, but I still know the difference between your and your right. Blueberry headband. The new deck is going to be a pain in the ass whenever that comes around. Hopefully, the pillars, the foundation that the whole thing is on, is still really, really good, and we could just put the vinyl fencing on. Just take the boards up and replace vinyl fencing. Hopefully,
Okay, we're not gonna do vinyl fencing on the
vinyl decking. Sorry.
trucks.
Yeah, Trex, whatever the hell it's called. You redid your deck 20 years ago. Good prep and used flood solid color. Ours is 13 years old, and what we let it age for the first year or two, and then we've been refinishing it regularly since then.
Yes.
But here's the deal: you're putting $1,500 every 2 years into a refinish, and that's stretching it longer than, I mean, a lot of people do it every year. So we paid, I think it was like $7,400 for the deck to begin with, and then we've put $1,500 into it every 2 years. This year we'll put $2,000 into it. Just gotta get that vinyl decking, and then get like a nice rug to put out there, so that you're not walking on the brutally hot Trex decking, because that shit be getting hot, yo. I got to do my deck too, but it's so expensive. Yes. Concrete or helical? I think they're concrete. I believe
What?
the pillars
The pillars,
of the deck.
they're attached with the brackets, but it is concrete. That's what's in the ground, and then the brackets are above ground, so they're not even, the brackets and the posts are above ground.
I think the foundation of the deck is very solid. It's just the boards that are.
And it's not all board, so I mean but at $2,000 every other year.
Yeah, we might as well at some point just bite the bullet, get that replaced, and then we've got a lifetime deck and a lifetime fence, and then it's just focus on the house.
We'll concrete everything in the house, it'll be fine.
You just finished helping your dad put in a small deck over the week, and it still cost you $1,200. Yeah, see. I don't know where that Trex paneling stuff is, decking stuff is made, but hopefully it's in the USA. So in a year or two, when I go to replace the deck, I'm not looking at insane prices, but I think we will be. I don't know what brand. I haven't even the foggiest idea. Painted it with rubber paint. Interesting. Even if it is made in the USA, demand pricing will make it just as expensive as imported. Yeah, I think that we're heading into a period of time where doing shit around the house is going to get real fucking expensive. Really, Greg? State Farm sent you a letter saying to replace your 10-year-old roof, or they were canceling your homeowners? I've never even heard of that.
Depends on, it shouldn't be a 10-year, I know that they will tell you, it's not that they're cancel, or well, they just won't cover on certain things, if they're over a certain age, they won't cover it if it gets taken out in the storm.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. No, once again, I am not Fidel Castro. You would think that roofs should be expected to last longer than a decade.
I mean, when we got ours replaced, it's got a 50-year warranty on the shingles.
Thank you very much, She. New to the channel, love the content. Thank you very much, Priscilla. Appreciate that. They said they sent a surveyor or something and he found tabs up. That sounds to me like an insurance company looking to drop a plan.
Sure is.
When did we get our roof done?
Your dad was still alive, so it was.
Minimum 7 years ago.
Huh?
Minimum 7 years ago.
Well, your dad's been gone for 10, and I said your dad was alive.
My God, has he been gone for 10?
This year will be 10.
Holy shit. Okay.
This July will be 10 years. But it was, remember his car got smashed, the windshield did? Me and Maggie's friend were going to get ice cream, and we were coming back, and we got hit with a piece of hail, and it took out his windshield.
No, I don't even remember that.
Okay. And he was in the nursing home, and I had to tell him that his car got fucking obliterated. We got like $6,200 to fix the windshield and all of the dents and everything else.
God damn.
And at the same time, we filed a claim for the roof because Daryl told us your roof took a beating.
Okay.
And remember Tommy thought your dad bought toilet paper? But we actually had the roof put on like 8 weeks before he died. So it's been 10 years.
10 years. Thank you, Gary C. How do I feel about Trump backing down with the tariffs again? I think he's all over the place. We're getting whiplash from the abrupt twists and turns. We're going to put tariffs on Canada and Mexico. I talked to Canada and Mexico, so we're all good. I'm going to take those tariffs off. You know what? I'm going to slap those tariffs back on. But wait a minute. I talked to them again. Now it's off again. It shows that we're lacking true leadership, is what it shows.
Nobody should be surprised. And if you are surprised, we need your voter registration card. You're not allowed to vote anymore.
You doubt he talked to Mexico or Canada? Who the fuck knows at this point in time? Who the fuck? But here's the deal. What did he do? He moved them out a month. Well, we'll take it to April 2nd. This is what we're going to do for 4 fucking years. We're going to go month by month with the tariff game. Drones to inspect roofs? Makes sense. Makes sense. He needs a cognitive test. He needs to just fucking go away is what he needs to do. What?
Lily was bitching about the snow, and I said it'll be 60 next week, and she goes, "I need it now." she's riding this.
Look up what the temperature is in Terre Haute, Indiana right now.
You're an ass. I will.
Okay, so let's talk about that, the lack of democratic leadership. I hear this a lot from people, and I'm not trying to start an argument with my fellow Democrats, but what do you want them to do? They are going to oppose the entire agenda. They are going to vote against the entire agenda. They are going to filibuster what they can filibuster, but we did not give them any power. They don't. What do you want them to do? Would my business accept a $100 bill with Trump's face on it? Well, if it's U.S. money, it's U.S. money. I don't know why I wouldn't accept it, but my business doesn't take cash. I get paid electronically across the board. Yes, if the Democrats can win these 3 special elections that are coming up within the next month or so, 2 in Florida, 1 in New York, then the Democrats have some power because they take the House back. Okay, but they are an opposition party. They are opposing his agenda. You say that you want them to be an opposition party and not a status quo party, but they are opposition. They are the opposition. They're not voting for any of this ignorant shit that's out there. So what else do you want them to do? I hear you, but it doesn't seem like there is a unified message from the Dems. It's like they're sitting on their hands and waiting, hoping that the building doesn't fall. I think there's a very unified message coming out of the Dems, the Democratic side, for the most part. And that is opposition to the Project 2025 agenda that Trump is putting forward. Okay, I'm going to say this as politely as I possibly can. And I don't mean to insult anybody. I just feel every bit as passionate about it as some of y'all do. Bernie Sanders will never be president. Y'all need to get the fuck off the Bernie Sanders thing. He fucked the Democrats in 2016, caused damage in 2020, thankfully didn't cost the fucking election. It was Bernie supporters that gave us the first Trump presidency. He's never going to be president. I don't give a fuck what he's doing.
Not you, sorry.
At the end of his term, is he really going to leave? We don't know. We have no idea. We know he talks about wanting to serve a 3rd term. If he doesn't want to serve a 3rd term, he wants to serve for life. He talks about wanting to serve a 3rd term. He talks about refers to himself as a king. We already know that when he loses an election, he sends his mob to try and overthrow his own government. There is no telling what the end of his term can bring. I can tell you this: if it ends with him locked in the Oval Office trying to have a standoff with the U.S. military in a hail of gunfire, I'm not going to lose any sleep. Yes, take Bernie's message if you want, put it in a younger package, and then you'd have something to discuss. Bernie is done. Everybody got to get the fuck off Bernie's dick. I have read in numerous articles that is exactly what Kamala Harris is planning to do, and I hope that she doesn't. How did Bernie harm Democrats' chances in 2016? By running in the primary? No, by staying in the primary after he was mathematically eliminated. He was mathematically eliminated. Could not possibly get the number of votes. I know there's another word for it. My apology. My brain is not pulling it up at the moment. And he stayed in the race. Now, here, I'll show you something else. Or I'll read you something else. And this is from delegates. Delegates. What I'm going to read to you is from the 2016 election. These are real numbers from 2016. The number of people, I've said this before a million times, the number of people who voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary in 2016, but then didn't abstain from voting, physically switched their vote to Trump. This is the group we're talking about. They physically voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary, but then actually voted for Trump in the general election because they couldn't bring themselves to vote for Hillary Clinton, and they thought, we're going to teach the Democratic establishment a lesson. In Wisconsin, 51,000 people went from Bernie to Trump. Hillary lost Wisconsin by 22,000 votes. In Michigan, the number of people who voted for Bernie in the primary and Trump in the general, 49,000. Hillary lost Michigan by 10,000 votes. And in Pennsylvania, the number of people that voted for Bernie in the primary and then voted for Trump in the general election is 116,000. She lost Pennsylvania by 44,000, which means in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, if just half of the people that voted for Bernie in the primary but then Trump in the general election, if just half of those people just voted for the Democratic nominee, we never have the first Trump presidency. We never have a 6-3 conservative Supreme Court. Roe v. Wade doesn't go anywhere. We don't have unnecessary trade wars, and we have a competent person at the helm during COVID. Oh, by the way, in that same exit polling in 2016, of the people that voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary, but then voted for Trump in the general election, 75% of those people agreed with the following statement in exit polling questioning: if only blacks worked harder, they'd be as well off as whites. So with all due respect, I really don't give a fuck what burners want. Yeah, Bernie would have won. How? He didn't even garner enough votes to get the fucking nomination. Twice. You guys keep telling me how Bernie would have won the general election. He couldn't win the primary. If he wants to run, he should run as an independent. Democratic Party's not good enough for him to serve under as a senator for decades. But it's good enough to run for president under? Pass. Pete Buttigieg is an up and rising star in the Democratic Party. You'll probably see his name bantered around in 2028 to some degree. Gavin Newsom has a lot of pluses and a lot of minuses. You know, he's going to be one of those people that's going to be bantied around. You got to think outside the box. We keep talking about the same people, right? We keep talking about Pete Buttigieg. We keep talking about AOC, Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, even Kamala Harris. Here's the thing. 4 years before Barack Obama ran for the presidency, nobody knew who the fuck Barack Obama was. It wasn't until he gave a speech at the Democratic Convention that people knew who Barack Obama was. So it very well could be somebody that we don't even see. Not even on our fucking radar right now. Do you think Hillary and Kamala lost because they were women or because of the cult? It could be both. It's partially both. But I think they lost because they're women. I think at the end of the day, unfortunately, this country, while there are millions of us that are ready for a woman to be president, I think for the most part, this country goes, a woman? Not yet. Unfortunately, I do. And who just so happened to be the opposing candidate when we had two women, the two times that we had women at the top of one of the major tickets? One of the most sexist, misogynistic buckets of shit ever. This guy just smokes bud, sits by himself, and believes everything that the bud thoughts bring him. Sheesh, says Jacksonville Kid. Hey, Jacksonville kid, just for you. Now get fucked. Katie Porter, I don't think she's presidential material. Get a job?
I would love to
Hang on. Get a job. Motherfucker, I'm working right now. I'm at my job. This is my office. What would you like to see, dear?
I'd like to see Katie Porter as the press secretary.
Katie Porter would be phenomenal in a press secretary role.
And it's not to say she's not going to eventually be qualified to be president. That's not what I'm saying.
I think Katie Porter at some cabinet level,
Yeah,
or potentially as a senator instead of a member of the House.
Yes, she is so intense and so intelligent that we need her. But I don't know that we need her as a president.
Yes.
That's just my opinion.
I don't think she has the foreign policy chops for the presidency.
Yeah, I know. I keep hearing about the foreign policy chops.
Yes. Diabetes is a hell of a drug. Diabetes isn't a drug, numbnuts. It's a disease. Jasmine Crockett, I don't know if she's ready. A lot of these people need to have a lot more years. AOC, she needs to stay right where she's at and stay in Congress and grow. I think that if you're talking about young people that are potentially ready to go to the presidency, I think you're talking about Gretchen Whitmer is ready to go. Pete Buttigieg is ready to go. You know what I mean? You think, with all due respect, there is okay. I appreciate. Where did that person go? Turd Nugent. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I think it'll be a cold day in hell when that happens. Jasmine Crockett, future governor of Texas. I understand she's a representative from Texas in a blue area of Texas, but a black woman, governor of Texas. I don't know. J.B. Pritzker? If he was the candidate, I would support him, but I would prefer him not to be the candidate. Is Pete Buttigieg still breastfeeding? I don't know. Are you still a massive tool? I recently went on Amazon to buy a bunch of banned books. I got things like Handmaid's Tale, 1984, and T and LGBT. Every one had an alt-right propaganda book in the recommended underneath. Ooh. Adam Schiff? Maybe. She said nothing bothers the conservatives more than what goes on in a person's bedroom. They are awfully obsessed with it. Someone is threatened by Pete. They're all threatened by Pete. They're all threatened by Pete. Tim Walz is not going to run for president. That would be my guess. Oneself? Hello? That Jared guy can't spell his name. Moskowitz? Jared Moskowitz? Here's what you can be rest assured of. In 2028, there's going to be an open field of Democratic candidates vying for that nomination. There's going to be a robust primary process. We're going to go through that whole thing again. We're going to have probably a slew of candidates, your 10 to 20 candidates. You don't even know what a woman is? Well, I know what a woman is. I'm married to a woman. I've helped produce 3 different women. A woman is something you'll never enjoy the company of. Did you hear about the king wearing his Canadian uniform to official functions instead of his British one? Plans to wear it when Trump visits. Interesting. I did not. Take it easy, Peyton. I think that we're getting closer and closer to a point in time where J.B. Pritzker may throw his hat into the ring, yes. No party, Democrat or Republican, holds a primary process when you have an incumbent president running for re-election. It doesn't happen. The party didn't have, Democrats didn't have a primary when Obama ran for re-election, when Clinton ran for re-election, when Carter ran for re-election. The party backs the incumbent. Same thing with the Republicans. The Rock be president? I'll pass on that one. And then I'll pass on Jon Stewart being president too, as much as I like the guy. Shapiro Romney? Oh, I don't know about that one. You want to take a Democratic governor and a former Republican governor and senator and put them on the same ticket.
Did you eat lunch?
No.
Okay, good. Fucking squirrels.
Fucking squirrels. You got to eat lunch, man. I got to eat something at some point in time here. Romney's a tough sell. Therein lies the problem. Romney's a very tough sell. You got to remember, Romney's already been through the presidential ringer once. He's got even though, okay, he stood up to Trump, he still sat there and fucking kissed the ring. You know what I mean? He still went and had dinner with the motherfucker. And he's still Mitt Romney. Liz Cheney, you don't fucking trust Liz Cheney one fucking bit. Okay, she was on the January, she's anti-Trump. Who gives a fuck? She still voted with the Trump agenda 96% of the time when she was in office. And she's fucking Dick Cheney's daughter. No. Same thing with Adam Kinzinger. I lived in the same town as Adam Kinzinger. He was our member of the House of Representatives before they redistricted Illinois and did away with his district so he couldn't win it. Adam Kinzinger voted with the Trump agenda 94% of the time. And then when Trump lost the election, Adam Kinzinger looked around and went, oh, fuck. I'm a far-right Republican in a very blue state. And if I ever want to run for governor one day, for example, or senator one day, for example, I can't be pro-Trump. So he conveniently became anti-Trump after Trump lost the 2020 election. Fuck Adam Kinzinger. Yeah, Gen Z is too young to be president, but not too young to begin running for office, that's for sure. Who is Katie Porter? She's a phenomenal Democratic representative from California. She looks like your PTA mom, and she typically uses a whiteboard to explain matters to stupid people. It's phenomenal. You should go look up some of Katie Porter's videos on YouTube. Andy Beshear is the Democratic governor of Kentucky. Thank you, Anuyushi, for the tip. I appreciate that. Yeah, I love Katie Porter. I just don't know that she's presidential material. Katie does her homework before she interviews the invitee to the committee. Yes. One of the problems with U.S. politics is even after the election, everybody is still in re-election mode. Yeah, we're only 2 years away from the midterms. I don't know shit about Josh Stein. I would back Newsom. I would definitely back Newsom. Let me know if you need a video editor. Thank you very much. What are we talking about? Anything. Whatever's on anybody's mind. Here's the thing. Once again, you're probably looking at somebody we don't even know yet. Somebody that is going to come out of fucking nowhere. I don't know that Harris can win it now. I don't know. I mean, the far left has shown that they are not willing to vote for anybody who doesn't like give them everything they want. We are in the 100-year cycle. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are in the 100-year cycle. What am I incorrect about, Mr. Westbrook? Katie Porter maybe as vice president. I would like to see Katie Porter maybe be senator. Us on the left asked for the bare minimum. Bullshit. Bullshit you did. You looked at Kamala Harris and said, if you don't give us everything we want in regards to Gaza, we're going to teach you a lesson and we're not going to vote for you. And millions of you stayed home. And I showed the numbers earlier from 2016, what you guys did. Hillary Clinton didn't give you everything that you asked for. She didn't visit this neighborhood or go to this state or abide by this fucking way of thinking. And so therefore, we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn our votes away. We're going to go vote for, we're going to write people in. We're going to abstain from voting. If people don't give you fucking people are the MAGA of the left. You fucking people on the far left that if you don't get every fucking thing you want, you're going to go ahead and tank an election. You motherfuckers own the Trump presidencies, both of them, and everything that comes from them. The loss of Roe v. Wade, that's on you motherfuckers. A 6-3 lifetime Supreme Court, conservative Supreme Court, that's on you motherfuckers. Unnecessary trade wars that cost our farmers their fucking livelihood, and you and I, billions of dollars in bailouts for the ones that were left, you own that motherfucker. Everything that gets initiated from Project 2025 over the course of the next 4 years, you own it. All of those federal employees getting fired right now, you own it, motherfucker. You do. No, that's not bullshit. That's as real as it fucking gets. You fucking own it. You fucking own that shit. You guys who abstained from voting, and if you're not one of the ones who abstained from voting or who didn't write somebody else in, then I'm not talking about you. But the ones who said we're not going to we're not going to tolerate it, we're not going to vote. We're either going to go vote for everybody else except for the president, or we're not going to vote at all. You guys own the Trump presidency. You don't want to take responsibility for it? Don't fucking care. You own it. Alienating voters? You've already been alienated. In a couple of election cycles, you've shown that you're already alienated. So So why the fuck would I worry about alienating you now? You've already abstained from voting and allowed a fascist to get into office. Now I should worry about alienating you? You've been alienated. Who gives a fuck what you want? Blame the correct side. I am. The only reason Trump's not in office is because our people didn't show up. Did the Republicans make you motherfuckers not vote? No, they didn't. Your dislike of the candidate on the Democratic side is what made you fucking people stay home. And you don't want to own it. Don't fucking care. On this channel, you're going to get called out on that shit every fucking time. Was Kamala Harris perfect? Far from it. Was Hillary Clinton perfect? Far from it. Was Joe Biden perfect? Far from it. Was the option so fucking horrific that you should have swallowed your fucking pride and voted for the Democratic candidate? Yes, you should have. And if you didn't, then you own the Trump presidency. Fucking period. And I'll preach that shit till the day I fucking die. You motherfuckers gave us 2 terms of Trump. My children, as far as I'm concerned, my children, 3 of them, don't have rights in over 24 states in this country because of you. When gay people lose the right to be married, when interracial marriage is gone in this country, that's you. That's you. You find that funny? Congratulations on being part of the fucking problem. America is lost. I don't know that it's lost, but it's definitely in a dark place, that's for sure. Biden was better than I thought he was going to be overall. I thought Biden was going to be a stopgap president. I thought it was going to be an extraordinarily inconsequential 4 years. He was going to hold the office for 4 years, and then we were going to see, the next round of folks duke it out for 2024. He turned out to get more shit done than I thought he would ever get done. And for that, I will forever be proud of my vote of Joe Biden. He got a lot done, a lot more done than I thought he did. Should he have made his decision to get out earlier? Yeah, if he's going to get out, he should have made his decision much earlier. Turd Nugent is leaving? Say, turd. See you next time. No one is entitled to anyone's vote. Blaming the voters is the dumbest thing to do. Well, who else is responsible for the outcome of an election if not voters? All the campaigning and all the commercials and all the rallies and all of the stump speeches and all of the pressing of the flesh and the bullshit kissing up and the bullshit lies that both sides feed you throughout the course of a campaign don't amount to a hill of fucking beans if we don't go out and vote. And at the end of the day, over 80 million of us showed up and put Joe Biden in office. And that number significantly dropped. It's not like Trump gained 12 million votes. He only bested himself by a couple of million votes. We didn't show up. That's it. Trump didn't jump up into the low 80s. He stayed relatively where he was. We fell back. And then everybody wants to go, no, it's somebody else's fault. No, it's not. No, it's not. I refer to the Rolling Stones. You can't always get what you want. Exactly. Exactly. There were many things that I didn't like about every candidate that I have ever voted for over the course of my life. But because I didn't agree with them on one fucking thing doesn't mean I'm going to tank an entire election. Doesn't mean I'm going to abstain from voting and allow a fascist to get into office. You just got here and you wanted to know if I voted for Trump or Kamala. I voted for Kamala. Kamala was not the worst possible candidate. It's a ridiculous thing to say. Sorry, your red line is a year-long genocide. So what do you think is going to happen now that Trump's in office? You think that not getting Kamala Harris in office and allowing Trump to get into office is the better option? So what do you think is going to happen now? Because here's at the end of the day, you can talk to me about all your moral high ground all day long, right? About how a year-long genocide is your red line. There were only two people that were going to win the election: Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. By not voting for Kamala Harris, you assisted Donald Trump in getting elected. What do you think is going to happen to the Gazans now? He's talking about ethnically cleansing them openly to the press. Openly to the press. We're going to clear them all out. We're going to bulldoze the whole fucking area, and we're going to build it up with hotels and casinos. Who of the two people being in office, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, who do you think would have been the slightest bit better for the Gazans? And you're willing to throw away everything here in the United States of America because of Gaza. Okay, you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. He's going to get 2 more Supreme Court justices, minimum, over the course of the next 4 years. They're going to go after all of it from a judicial standpoint. They're going to probably cut the size of the federal government in half, which is going to take years to rebuild after he's gone. Ukraine as well. Yep. Thankfully, Ukraine has a lot of other partners that have their back. And so hopefully Putin is not successful in Ukraine ultimately. But I would love to know what would these MAGA folks think of us having to put 150,000 troops in Poland if Gaza or if Ukraine falls. Thank you, Boobin. Yes, Mr. Tillman, that's correct. Hello from Romania. Now, there's one I don't get very often. Romania. Isn't that like it's like the home of Dracula and shit, right? Unless who croaks, Len? Todd, good day. Transylvania, my apologies. Thank you very much, Mr. Blackwell. Take it easy, Rock Attack. Your son is in the Navy? Right on for your son. Very good. Love to hear that. United Kingdom, hello. Michigan, hello. Kamala not going through a primary gave the impression that she was coronated to the primary. Okay. Then that's the impression you're going to have. There's nothing I'm going to do to change that. Teach your kids that voting is a duty. I have been trying my hardest to make sure they all get out and vote. Is this thing on? A lot of comments. Sorry if I miss one. 2, 9, 12. Eric Swalwell? I don't know. But she did go through the primary in 2020 as a VP. And we collectively decided that she was okay being a heartbeat away from the presidency. And then when he backed out and there wasn't time to throw another primary together, it made sense that she became the one that stepped up. It just does. And if you don't like the way that she got the nomination, it still doesn't mean that you don't fucking vote and allow fascism to take over. Do my chats up here to you, Tom? Just curious if I'm silenced. No, I saw that. Bernie still would have won? No, he wouldn't have. He couldn't even win a fucking primary. With the help of a party that he doesn't like. AOC is most definitely not ready to be president, in my opinion. Yeah, Bernie ain't winning shit. Bernie's done. People need to stop with the fucking Bernie bullshit. Wow, your mom voted Trump, and both you and your sister are LGBTQ. Sorry to hear that. Middle of the road Democrat. Okay, so therein lies the fucking point, right? And that's the. I know that people don't want to fucking hear it, but it's the goddamn truth. Politics in the United States of America for generations has been like a pendulum swinging back and forth. Sometimes it's on the right side of the pendulum. Sometimes it's on the left side. Sometimes it's conservative. Sometimes it's liberal. But it's usually right here in the middle. Short swings, right? We don't go decades where there are Republican presidents or decades where there are Democratic presidents, right? We go back and forth, back and forth. We have some time with Republican presidents and some time with Democratic presidents, and we generally keep it right here because we are a center left / center right country for the most part. Boom, 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 boom. Every now and again, the political climate in the United States of America starts to swing a little bit further out from the center. We go further right, we go further left. And then eventually it has to come back to the center, right? So, the right decides to go a little bit further right than normal with Ronald Reagan when Ronald Reagan decided that he was going to, for the first time in American history, utilize the conservative Christian base in the United States of America as a voting bloc. So we go a little bit further right. So we on the left think that we're going to bring it back to the center with Bill Clinton, right? We're going to give you guys a Southerner, but a Southerner who's a Democrat. So we're going to bring it back to the middle. And that's what we thought we did for 8 years. But then the Republicans were like, the folks that were just chomping at the bit to take it further to the right. They come in, they give us W, right? They go even further right than Reagan. So then what do Democrats do? Democrats go, okay, well, we need to bring it back to the center. So we bring in Obama. Fucking centrist, right? What is Obama's signature move? Obamacare. What is Obamacare? The biggest government giveaway to private health insurance in the history of the country. He is in the center, but because he's black and has a scary name, they view him as us pegging far left. So they come back and they peg far right with Trump. So we say, all right, let's bring it back to the center again. And we bring it back to the center again with Joe Biden. And they go, oh, look at how dramatically left he is. He's not. He's not even close to dramatically left. Hell, he's practically center right, for fuck's sake. And then they go, no, we need to go back with Trump again. I don't think we need to go far left. I don't think we need to go Bernie AOC far left. I think we need to bring it back to the middle. Right here. Who that is, I don't know. Once again, it might be somebody that we're not even thinking about. It might be somebody who we don't even know their fucking name. But we definitely don't need to respond to far right with far left. That is not going to get the job done in this country. It just isn't. Let's go Vivek. Fucking pass. Jen Psaki? Come on. Mark Cuban, can we stop having celebrities be president? Reagan, Trump, I mean, two of the worst fucking presidents we've ever had. No. I'll tell you something. As a Democrat, I know that this is going to freak some fucking people out. I, 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 I want somebody that's young, but gives off elder statesman vibes, right? I voted for McCain in the primary when he ran against W. I was prepared to vote for McCain against Gore had he won. He didn't, so I couldn't bring myself to vote for W. And then when McCain rose to the top against Obama, Obama was clearly the fucking right choice. I would have been totally fine, mostly fine with a McCain presidency. I would have voted for Colin Powell in a heartbeat. Give me an elderly statesman and a young man. To me, that's Pete Buttigieg. Elderly statesman, young man. Give me a young progressive human being, but that portrays that elder statesman kind of vibe. That's Pete Buttigieg. Served in the military, has held elected office prior to this, has held cabinet position prior to this, speaks multiple languages, is extraordinarily progressive, is extraordinarily young, but gives off that elder statesman vibe. I'm fine with somebody like that. He won't win. And therein lies the rub. Is the country ready? I don't know. I think bringing it back into the center would also include somebody like a Gavin Newsom. But if Gavin Newsom were to run, you know what the MAGA crowd is going to do. They're going to portray him as some far left wing, communist, socialist, Kenyan Marxist. Same thing with Gretchen Whitmer. And then Gretchen Whitmer brings the added problem that we've seen these last couple of times now, that the nation does not appear to be ready to vote for a woman, which fucking sucks. It really does. Andy Beshear, I'd like to see Andy Beshear stay right where he is, a Democrat in control of the state of Kentucky. I'd like that. I like him right where he is. The country has shown that it's willing to elect a black person. I don't know why there's still this apprehension when it comes to women. I don't know why the women candidates are still being held to a higher standard. I thought that we as a nation might be beyond that at this point in time, but oh, is Andy Beshear term limited out? Can he run for senator down there? Does he have a shot? He can win statewide office, obviously. Shapiro? Teg, sorry. I want you to think about this. The far left wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris because while she wanted to solve the problem, she still supported Israel. Now imagine putting a Democratic candidate up there that's an actual Jewish person. I think the far left would react worse than with Kamala. It's fucking insane with these people. Okay, you say Clinton and Harris were terrible candidates. At the time that Hillary Clinton was defeated, the election that Hillary Clinton was defeated by Donald Trump in, she received more raw votes than any presidential candidate in American history other than Barack Obama up to that point in time. I keep hearing about how unpopular she was, yet she got the second most number of raw votes at the time, up until that point in time, that of any presidential candidate in history. No, the Democrats do not need a left-wing candidate. That's a recipe for disaster. Mark Kelly, It's an intriguing name. One of the Castro brothers from Texas. That's who. God, I forget which one of the Castro brothers it was. I wanted Hillary to pick him. Vice presidential picks are made for a reason. And I understand that Tim Kaine was picked in order to help Hillary Clinton with white male voters. Joe Biden was picked because he had extraordinarily good contacts and relationships with Congress. Mike Pence was picked to help with the evangelicals, so forth and so on. Tim Kaine was picked to help Hillary Clinton with white male voters, but I think it was the wrong play. She should have brought in Castro from Texas, young, Hispanic, in one of the biggest red states in the country. In your opinion, whom do you prefer to be president from history? I have no idea. I would have to sit down and think about that. Beto O'Rourke, Pete Buttigieg. Okay, Beto O'Rourke we need to stop with Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke ran for senator and governor in a state against two extraordinarily vulnerable people and still lost. He can't win in his home fucking state. Beto O'Rourke is trying way too hard to be a Kennedy, and it's coming off bad. Trump being a celebrity and the impression of him being a successful businessman helped him incredibly. Yeah, if people actually bothered to read up on the shit that he has done and his history in business, then again, I don't know. I think that a lot of Trumpism is driven by mutual hatred. So they're willing to look the other way in order to share mutual hatred. Hi back at you. A bankrupt casino owner is gambling with our economy. That is correct. Actually, he's harming our economy. He's been in office 6 weeks, and in the period of time since he's been in the office, the Dow has dropped a couple of thousand points. The price of steel has greatly increased. Report came out today that while the bird flu did play partially into the increased price of eggs, actually corporate greed is driving most of it. Shocker on that one. We haven't seen our energy costs come down. Inflation has ticked up. The report just came out today. Unemployment ticked up to 4.1. Buckle up. It's going to be 4 years of this. How crazy is all this going to get? I don't know. All I know is that the traditional streams of revenue are not reliable at this point in time for us. Which is why I have monetized myself on social media to the nth degree, and I have poured myself into it lock, stock, and barrel. Traditional forms of revenue are just not an option right now. What does Trump have to do to stay past 2 terms? He needs to alter the Constitution, and that's never going to happen. He needs to get a constitutional amendment, which takes 2/3 of the House, 2/3 of the Senate, and 38 states to ratify. Now, he can just say, I'm not leaving, at which point in time, somebody would go in there with weaponry and drag his ass out. But in order to legally serve another term, they need to alter the Constitution, and it is too tall of a task. He'll never get the votes in the House. He'll never get the votes in the Senate. So it'll never make it out of Congress. But even if he did, 38 states to ratify, not in a million years. What happens if Trump declares martial law? I think that he would get so much tremendous blowback that we would reach a point where we would have various factions of the federal government facing off against one another. Thoughts on requiring litigants to post bonds for upfront payment before bringing suit against the government? I don't know enough about any of that shit to be able to intelligently speak on it, if I'm being completely honest with you. Susan Rice, what about her? Unless he's somehow able to sway or replace the existing ones. Did you know that the USPS is older than the USA itself? I did not know that. You know who conservatives will pick? Who will they pick? Forgotten Dreamer, thank you very much. I'd have to look into those numbers, Tag. $100%. Okay, so let's talk about this. 100%. You believe conservatives are picking Vance in 2028. Two words for you: Mike Pence. What makes you think that Vance is still going to be in the big fucking club in 4 years? Every single person that Donald Trump hires, taps to do something, they all fucking, he turns on all of them. He turns on. I don't know that Vance is gonna fucking be part of the club in 2028. Over the next 30 to 40 years, I'm hoping that it shifts more to the left, because we're in our 100-year cycle right now where fascism is coming back like it did 100 years ago right now. Think about it. What was 100 years ago? We are in 2025. 100 years ago was 1925, right? Think about 100 years ago. What happened over the course of the next 20 years? From 25 to 35 to 45. We had a massive economic crash, followed by fascism taking hold and a global war. Fascism is taking hold. We're seeing the economy suffer again. We have a president for the first time in American history that's talking about invading everybody. We have Russian aggressors trying to reclaim the old Soviet Union in Europe. We have conflict in the Middle East. We're going through our 100-year cycle. Fascism has returned. So from now forward, think about, from 2025 to 2035 to 2045, what would that parallel look like from 1925 to 35 to 45? We would go through the economic tough times and the fighting of fascism to finally then begin veering back to the left, where we had prosperity and solid economic times. 50s, 60s, 70s, and then we got into the 80s, and we started to lean a little bit more towards the fucking far right wing, and that's led us down the road over the last 40 years to right here. The only thing that hasn't started yet is the burning of the books made by marginalized people. No, but they're being taken off the shelves. I mean, think about it. We don't have big fucking piles of them burning in the streets, but we're removing them from shelves. We're going through the same shit. You can't read that. You can't teach that. You can't read that. It's the 100-year cycle. It's all repeating itself. Get those victory gardens. That's what I'm talking. There's my garden layout right there. And I've got plans to expand back here next year, potentially a greenhouse going along here. And then I've got some over on the side of the house that I'll be able to do. Look, yeah, we're going to grow some food. We're going to have to at some point in time. What do you say to the people moving out of the country? Good luck. Is victory a strain of weed? We can make it a strain of weed. We certainly can. We can do anything we want. We're grown-ass adults with jobs and money. If you're 14, you shouldn't be in here. You're considering moving out of the country. We're not going to consider moving out of the country. My in-laws just moved within 10 minutes of us here in the last couple of months. So I'm not planning on moving anywhere in the country or out of the country. If my in-laws weren't here and my wife looked at me and said, I think that we should get out of the country, I would consider it. Movie showing, so you're going. Could caress about the 5 you're blowing. Steal you. Never mind. Started to do a little bust and move there. Theater gets dark just to start the show. Then you find a fine woman sitting in your row. She's dressed in yellow. She says, hello, come sit next to me, you fine fellow. I got it in the brain because it was the last song playing in the car. Sorry. You just love my videos? Well, thank you very much. Hi there, Tom. Hi back at you. You're considering moving out of the country because you have 2 LGBTQ plus children. Totally understand. Maybe consider a blue state first. What is going to be in our garden this year? Green peas, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, bell peppers, jalapenos, cucumbers, Roma tomatoes, slicing tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, romaine lettuce, zucchini. Zucchini. Whoa, 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 whoa. Jalapa what? Jalapenos. Jalapenos. Have an herb garden up on the deck that's separate from the ground level garden. We have cilantro up on the. We'll have cilantro, basil, thyme. I forget what else up on the deck. You're gay and live in a red state? I don't know what to say. Stays. Well, parsley, oregano. You grew ghost chilies not too long ago. I don't think we're going to be doing the ghost chilies, but a couple of jalapenos with an abundance of peppers and tomatoes, and maybe we can make a little salsa. You never know. How to grow a garden in Phoenix? Oh shit! Indoors, greenhouse. I ain't dipping no habanero and no fucking chocolate. Fuck that shit. Asparagus, yeah, somebody was talking about how it takes forever to grow. Santa Claus, Claws. Yeah, maybe hydro inside for your garden in the desert there. I don't know that the pendulum is going to swing massively to the left, and it certainly didn't swing massively to the left after Bush. Carrots. I, I think that as the garden grows and as we add to it over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, there's going to be some more. There are going to be some more raised garden beds. I've got kind of something in mind, and there'll be room for carrots at some point in time. Not a ton of carrots, but some carrots. Corn. I I have a vision of a place where we can grow some corn, but I don't know. That's really gonna. I got to talk to Renee about that because I don't think you produce enough off of a stalk of corn. But if I had a separate area, maybe I potentially in the next 2 years. Bamboo. I ain't growing no fucking bamboo. Companion planting, yes. So, like for example, um, do I have it on here? I do not have it on here. I've got it on my phone. There are certain annuals to plant near the base of your cucumber plants that the the little critters that would normally eat your cucumber plants will go to these plants instead. Marigolds are a good companion for some of them, some of the plants. So we're going to put the garden in, and then within the garden we are this year going to put. I've got the list on my phone. We're going to put certain annuals in certain spots to draw the pests away from them. As I've been reading up on the whole companion plant thing. Thank you very much on the God bless yous and the gesundheits and the salutes. Well, I'm not going to be growing herb anyway, so corn won't be taking up the the space of weed anyway. What is your philosophy about death and life after death? I don't believe there is life after death. I believe that when you die, it essentially lights out. Your stream of consciousness ceases to exist. Garlic. I would be intrigued in garlic down the road. I would be. I would be intrigued. So going back to the herbs, we've got this thing on the deck. It's a little herb garden. It's got 2, 4, 6, I think 8 little chambers, and it's it sits up higher so you don't have to bend over, and it's nice. I'm actually thinking about getting a second identical one to double our herb capacity on the deck. It's not that expensive of a unit, and it would if we could double our herb capacity, uh, that might not be a bad thing. And she plants like double the plants, so like every 2 pockets, she'll these 2 will be basil, these 2 will be this. So, do you believe in Bigfoot? Yes. What is the status on cannabis in Illinois? Legal for both medicinal and recreational purposes. If you're a recreational user, you can buy or possess up to 1 ounce. You can grow no plants. If you're a medicinal card holder, you can buy or possess up to 2 ounces, I believe, and you can grow up to 5 plants. What state am I in? Illinois. I'm in the suburbs of Chicago. You pay less in tax if you have a medical card, yes. Have you ever been outside of the United States of America? I've been to Mexico, Honduras, Belize, Jamaica, and the Bahamas. In Indiana, you still go to jail for joints. Yes, unfortunately. Is that a blue area? Where I'm at? Yes, I'm in a. Well, the town I'm in is purple now, was red, very red not too long ago. The county is blue, and yes, I'm in the Chicagoland area, which is predominantly blue. What's the name of your band? I don't have a band. Okra and cannabis look so similar. Have you seen Harry and the Hendersons? Yes. Aren't you in ZZ Top? No. Being 100 Cuban born here, I have eaten garlic all my life. Doctor told me heart of a 30-year-old and 51-year-old garlic Creole doubt. Garlic is awesome to cook with. I don't know if it would be worth growing, but we can certainly give it a try as the garden grows. I no longer smoke because I no longer have a job thanks to Trump. I am sorry to hear that. The governor of your state could be a good candidate. He could be an okay candidate. Do you really think it's too late for us to come back from all of this shit? Oh no. We're just gonna we have 4 more years of this shit to write out. Unfortunately. Yeah, that's Greg Tillman losing his job because of Trump. Is these stories that we're seeing around the country. Like I said, the jobs report just came out today. And unemployment ticked up ever so slightly to 4.1%. But most of the layoffs are happening now, right? So March's numbers should be even worse. The unemployment numbers should tick up. They're putting thousands of people out of work. How do you feel about centrists? I am a centrist. I'm center left. You're puffing your pain away right now? Right on. You're 20 and you're struggling to get a job? Trust me, folks of all ages are struggling to get jobs. Folks of all ages are struggling to get jobs. Can something significant happen to the midterms to stop the damage? Historically speaking, the Democrats should win the midterms by a fucking landslide. We'll see if it actually happens. I'm struggling to get a job and I haven't been 20 for a while. There are a lot of people struggling to get a job in a multitude of areas right now. And with a lot of uncertainty about various industries and industries already feeling pain, it's going to be harder to find jobs. And when those industries cut way back and don't have the people and aren't hiring the people, then that's fewer people spending money in their communities, and it's going to have another ripple effect. So, figure out what you can do if there's a way to make money for yourself if you can. I I can tell you this: I have a 26-year landscape career. I don't think I can get anybody. I've tried a few jobs. I've looked since my wife's company folded. I've looked. There haven't been many. I've applied to a few that I'm more than qualified for. Nothing. So, are we boycotting Amazon now? Hell no. That's where my books are available. Don't boycott Amazon. Go there and buy my books if you can. Help a brother out. Picking vegetables in Western Palm Beach County right now. Okay. Thanks for doing these lives. I like just listening to like-minded people. Right on. Bought them both last week. Thank you very much, Mr. Froglegs, or MG Froglegs, I should say. I have my own business, but things are slowing down here too in California. Might start selling bagels on the side. Bagels are feet pics. Thank you, Bro. I appreciate that. Hello, retired pirate. I tell you, one thing I'm learning about YouTube is that the names over here are every bit as interesting as the names over on the other social media platforms. Your content is a breath of relief. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You think Trump will get rid of taxes? No. Where do you get your cool shirts, Tom? All over the place. Amazon. I know people don't like Amazon. I get it. I'm sorry. It's how the future is going to exist. More and more things are going to be brought directly to you rather than you go get them. YouTube is okay. YouTube is okay income. It's okay for now income. No, getting rid of taxes is not going to be a thing. I mean, they're going to listen. They're going to cut way back on the federal government, how much the federal government spends. They're going to cut it probably in half. And then they're going to give massive tax breaks to the upper class, which they're going to sell you as, well, that's what covered all the cuts, right? We don't need as much income coming in because we're not spending as much money, so we can give these tax breaks. It is going to take fucking years. I'm going to be in my fucking mid to late 60s before somebody actually has enough time to fix this shit. You know what I mean? It's going to take that long. Living in Indiana as a trans chick is getting scary. I can imagine. I actually started having panic attacks from watching too much politics. I can imagine that as well. Yeah, ain't nobody getting them $8,000 stimulus checks. Listen, maybe they do. Maybe they do. And if they do, they're dumber than I fucking thought they were. If they're going to send every fucking taxpayer $8,000 just because, they are dumber than I thought they were. But what are you going to do? If I wake up one morning and there's $8,000 deposited into the account, then there's $8,000 deposited into the account. I don't know what's that. I would take the $8,000, but I'm not going to shut up. Amen. You could use the $8,000 to help your grandpa with his medical care. There are millions of people across this country that could use $8,000 for something. But it would just blow a massive hole in the deficit or the debt all over again. You disagree about Ukraine? ? I disagree with Ukraine about what? You got to be specific about what we're talking about here. I've seen you can use AI to farm pretty good money on YouTube in a bad way, disgusting content since it's used. Ugh, no, pass. We only get a stimulus check if Trump gets desperate for ratings. For poll numbers, you mean? Yeah. So we have the midterms in 26. They can't use abortion to scare you. It's gone. they can't use, we need to cut government spending. They have control over it for the next 2 years. So by the time they get to run for midterms, they should have been able to take care of what they want to take care of. They need something to scare you with. And I think they're going to go ahead and scare you with, the gay marriage thing again. They're going to keep pushing it. Well, we haven't overturned that. Got to get the Supreme Court to overturn that. This channel loves censorship? Explain. Is Vance better than Trump if Trump were to go hasta la bye-bye? No. Vance would probably be less crazy as Trump, but Vance would be every bit as evil as Trump in many ways, just with a knowledge of how government actually works. So neither are really good options. Hello from Maine. Well, hello, Maine. Glad you could finally watch it live. I'm going to be doing lives every Tuesday night. Remember that one guy, Ron DeSantis? Yes, I do. Ron DeSantis doesn't play outside of Florida, unfortunately, for Ron DeSantis. If Putin dies, what happens? Who the fuck knows? No clue. Like, I have no idea what the sequence of events in that country would be like after the number of years he's been in office. You know what I mean? I don't know what happens in that instance. Sunshines and rainbows would spawn in Russia, somebody says. What's going to happen to Ukraine? They're going to keep fighting, would be my guess. They're just going to keep fighting with backing from European countries. Do you think trans people should be in sports, Tom? From what I've read, what's the terms? The benchmarks, I guess, that trans people have to hit, certain amount of hormone treatment, certain amount of this, certain amount of that, in order to be able to reach the point where they can compete in sports. I have no problem with it. People on the right have this impression, for some reason, that trans women in sports, people that were born male and transitioned into female, are just basically like me putting on a fucking women's sports uniform and going, let's go, we're going to play. No, they have to go through extensive transitioning in order to make that happen before they're eligible. So, yeah, if they go through that much change, yeah, I have no problem with it. How absurd to pardon Jan 6th convicts. Yeah, it is absurd. But then again, it's absurd to elect a president with 34 felony convictions. Ha ha ha, Tom loves taking women's rights. The Penn swimmer didn't. Oh, these fucking nameless, faceless coward trolls. Trans person here. There is no biological advantage after years of hormones. There you go. They sometimes have stronger grip strength. That's it. What I was just saying. Exactly. I did not watch that, Manu. I did not. Could you please give us your top 5 immediate concerns for the next 6 months? I want to rip the Band-Aid off about what to worry about. I have with the immediate concern. A massive downsizing of the federal government. Like I said, they're talking about laying. He is talking about firing 1 million people. Um, that's going to take years to replace after 4 years of existing like that. I think the massive amount of people that are going to get fired is an immediate concern for the next 6 months, and the ripple effect that will have. Those people no longer have income, so those people are no longer going to their local grocery store or their gas station or their movie theater or their bar or their restaurant or their strip mall or regular mall. They're not spending their money. Yeah, 1 million. That's Trump's goal. 1 million gone. Federal workers. Um, you get rid of that many people from the federal government, and none of those people have spending capability in their communities. It's going to have a massively destabilizing effect on the economy. That's something I think you should be worried about in the next 6 months. I would worry about the housing market in the next 6 months. If the interest rates for housing goes up and price of home building materials goes up, fewer people are going to have new houses built. Okay, is this all you're going to do? Is just say Trump? Are you really that fucking stupid? Here. Do you think that we're not just going to fucking put you in timeout there, guy? Fucking idiots, I swear to God. If Trump gets a chance at a third term, he's not going to get a chance at a third term. He's going to want to. He's going to fight like hell to get one. He's not going to get a third term. Trump's already implementing Project 2025. Tom calling anybody else an idiot is rich. You know what else is rich? Now you can't call anybody anything. Why? If you don't like me, why do you hang out in the live? You fucking jamoke. Go ahead and scream into the yawning chasm that is the internet, fuckstick. God damn, these people are just dumber than a fucking tree stump, aren't they? Like, y'all motherfuckers had a steady diet of fucking paste as a kid, didn't you? Oh my God. I swear to God, you could run the shop vac 24/7 back and forth across the top of the fucking gene pool, and you wouldn't pick up 1/1 millionth of whatever the fuck these idiot trolls are made out of. Yeah, a lot of lead paint chips. How do I post so many videos a day? Okay, so first things first, my videos don't require like a ton of editing. It's not like I'm going on different locations and splicing a lot of shit together. For the most part, my videos consist of me sitting down in this chair, pressing record, and talking about whatever the subject is, replying to the comment, or talking about whatever happened in the news or something that I saw on ye old interwebs that was funny. So it doesn't require a lot of time to create a video, first and foremost, for me. Secondly, it is now my job. So I come in here in the morning and I sit down and I've got stuff from the night before that I've like lined up to talk about or reply to. And in the first thing in the morning, as my wife and I sit in the living room and kind of wake up, for the first couple hours of the day, and the son's getting ready to go to the bus and go to school. I'm setting up more things to talk about, whatever. Then I come in here and I just pound out 20, 30, sometimes 40 plus videos, throw them all in my drafts. Once they're all put in my drafts and that's all done, I can then kind of wander the house and do things. Like the other day, I was in the kitchen doing dishes and I was just releasing videos on TikTok. Once they're all released to TikTok, or released to TikTok where only I can see them, some of them, because I want to just have it for the YouTube audience. Once they're all released to TikTok, they're all saved on my phone without a watermark. Then I upload all of them to YouTube in a private format. Once they're all uploaded, then I come back to the office, sit down here. Now Renee is really helping with this aspect of it. We'll sit down here and we'll put the thumbnails together and put them up there, and the descriptions that need to go into everything, and get them all scheduled. So I have schedule. I'll write out schedules of, and right now I try to do what seems to be a good amount of content for the people who follow me is 2 long form videos an hour, so 3 minutes or longer, and 1 short an hour, so 3 videos an hour during the hours where they're most you guys are most likely on the internet. And so if I make 35 videos, I'll take those and schedule them out over 2 days. So 2 days ago, I got scheduled out for 2 days. Today I made a batch of videos that'll go up over on YouTube over the weekend. New subscriber, just wanted you to know that I enjoy your point of view on things. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. How did Ronald Reagan win so big in the 80s? He was very charismatic. He had a larger than life personality. And he, like Nixon, won every single state except one. Yes, he was an actor. Not only was he an actor, he was the head of the Actors Union. You can't have Obama. He's served 2 terms. Right on, Michael. Appreciate it, brother. Yes, people knew Ronald Reagan as an actor for years, yes. And then he became governor of California. He served in a few different state level positions, I believe, and then he was governor of California for a while, and then ultimately president. Will Kamala run again? I have absolutely no idea. I only asked because I am working on getting a channel of my own up, and I was just not sure what to talk about. Literally anything. There, just like on TikTok, on YouTube, there are videos for everybody. If you're into gardening, there are gardening videos. If you're into guitar playing, there are guitar playing videos. If you're into trucking, there are truck videos. If you're into politics, there are political videos. You're into parenting, there are parenting videos. There are videos for every type of pet you could possibly want. It doesn't matter. If you can figure out a way to talk about it in a video format and start growing a page, then you can get to a point where you can monetize. And if you can monetize, you can make at least a little bit of extra money. Open voting. Are you talking about in a primary sense? Dems can't impeach Trump. They don't have the numbers to do so. They can't even bring impeachment to the floor. That would be up to Republicans. They need to take over the House in order to do that. Is Bernie Sanders allowed to run for your next president? Yeah, but it would be fucking stupid if he did. Trump was impeached twice, but it wasn't that there was not enough Democratic support in the Senate. Every Democrat in the Senate voted to remove him. There wasn't enough Republican support in the Senate. Trump was acquitted because Republicans acquitted him. Michelle Obama would be the most interesting name bandied about, without a question of a doubt. If there's one woman that I think maybe the country is ready for, it might, and everybody would be like, "What? Are you fucking kidding me?" A black woman. They couldn't handle a white woman and another black woman earlier. You're really going to take a black woman who also happens to be Obama's wife? Maybe. Yeah. I think the Obama coalition would be behind Michelle Obama. No, not Oprah. No more celebrities. No Oprah, no Mark Cuban. Love your videos. Thank you very much. I don't know that Jasmine Crockett is ready. Besides, so yeah, somebody just said it. How old is she? You need to be 35 to run for president. AOC, I don't think, is even close to being ready. What's up, Northern California? Jesus loves you. Well, tell him I said thank you. Got to get back to work? Right on, man. Get back to work. No, it's extraordinarily possible we do not know who the next Democratic nominee is yet because we don't even know who is going to rise to the top. But I will tell you this. I need to get a little food in me before bowling happens. So I appreciate y'all swinging by. Tuesday night, live. Tuesday night. Taco Tuesday with them. 7 o'clock Central Time. There will be a little room that you can wait in, before, just a little bit before that. Tuesdays, put it on your calendar. Tuesdays we go live. All right, I need to go eat.